Hi guys, I guess this is part two. Modified it yesterday to use this solar light inside, but it doesn't look like we're getting enough sunlight coming through the white skull to fully charge the battery. And looking at it in the night, when we switch the LED lights on, it's much brighter than it was with that. We're out in the garden. He is a light, but he is not very bright. Not when you compare him to the solar bunny and the ordinary solar stick lights. I do like the way that the LEDs appear to be on. They're not on. That's the single LED inside the skull shining through, which gives the impression of it all being on. So, not a total success, and I suspect because that white plastic is that bit thicker, it won't recharge very well during the daylight. I'll just turn the red LEDs on if I can find the switch. There we are. Yeah, a significant difference there. That is much brighter. So that would be an alternative to actually wire up those LEDs to the solar panel, or at least to the circuit board. So it occurs to me that the obvious thing to do is to bring these wires out, solder them directly onto the circuit board and replace that LED. And having said that, I don't think we're getting enough sunlight through to that one. So instead of that, I'm going to use one of these other garden lights and drill a hole in his head and have that sitting on top like a hat. So that'll take the sunlight normally rather than filtered through the white. And we'll solder the wires directly in place. In fact, thinking about it, I might as well solder them onto the circuit board that's in here. If I drill a hole in his head that's the size of that, that can sit straight down inside. I'll remove that LED rather than that LED and wire those LEDs up to that circuit board. All we're going to do is get in here, get to this circuit board, desolder that LED and solder up those LEDs, which we can get to just by disconnecting these wires from that. I wonder if that's glued in the back or just a push fit. It's glued in place. Hole in his head for that to fit in. Just cut it out with a hot knife. Now I'll divert the wires up inside and connect them up to that. So that's the wires that go to those LEDs. And if I cover the solar panel up, you can just see they're coming on. That's in the cupboard where it's dark. Into the daylight, and his eyes go out, or the LEDs go out. Back in the cupboard, LEDs come on. Right, it's early evening. Still light in the sky, but the sun went down a couple of hours ago, I think. These solar lights have come on. And the lights are on the skull. It is a bit light at the moment, but we can still see he's come on nicely. Compare him to the solar bunny over there and the other stick lights. So he looks fine. I might have a look out a little bit later when it's darker, just to see how long it stays alight for, because obviously we're running 2 LEDs when the stick light was designed to just use 1 LED. So there's a good chance it'll run out of power a bit quicker. Just for reference, looking in the conservatory there, those are all solar lights come on now. There's a green skull there, that's a crystal skull. And a few other odds and ends. It's now dark. Yeah, it's definitely brighter than the single white LED was. Plus we've actually got the eyes glowing. So, yeah, Mark II is better than the Mark I, where it was just the single white LED. So I'm pleased with that. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave us a comment so I know how I'm doing. And somewhere up here there'll be some links to related playlists. Thanks again.